comes episode 580 from this undisclosed walking trail. On an undisclosed walking trail, you can either go left or right, depending on which part of the fork you wanted to take on this trail. Either way, you can still walk. For the people that love the snap, here's my Grover Museum t-shirt I got at the Grover Museum in Shelbyville, Indiana. Beast Barnett, a big fan of the Grover Museum. It's one of his primary passions in life, behind botany and probably Debashi's coffee. Beast, big fan of Debashi's coffee and Sour Bear Caribou candy, apparently. And here's my Barney Miller mask. Look at that. Great show, that Barney Miller. I understand it is in the top 5 TV shows of all time for Kurt Phrases. He loves it. I'm guessing his favorite episode was the one where Fish met the 2 kids that later went on to be in Fish with him, I would presume. And book I just pulled out of a little free library to start reading, The Courage to Start, A Guide to Running for Your Life by John the Penguin Bingham. I'm guessing QT would love this book. He can borrow it later after I finish it. I'm guessing he'd love it. He loves books that has penguins on the cover. He'd say, "Oh my, a penguin," and then he'd read it probably. But QT's definitely going to get this, The Ostrich and Other Lost Sins. I'm guessing it'll be one of QT's favorite books of all time. Probably top 8. If you see JB Moonshine, you could get a shirt just like this. And if you're a female wrestler going to national TV, you can also get his finishing move. Lots of people are doing that. They're like, "Oh, JB's slop drop, I'll just use that on TV," and they do. Then JB just sits there for words saying, forget it, he says. Pamphlet for the Sign of the Times. Every show needs a pamphlet. There is what it looks like in the law office of Stephen P. New. Look at that. Get even with Stephen, if you will. The Twitter, where you can follow me, but not literally. Like, you don't want to be sitting behind this log here following me around on this trail. But you know who does follow me on the Twitter? Old Ken Hamlin. He sure does. Also, The Amazing Maria. They both do. I don't know if Old Ken Hamlin and The Amazing Maria have ever worked together, but maybe they did. I don't know. Old Ken Hamlin probably watches The Amazing Maria on WOW every week in her Big Rig Betty form. Facebook, Instagram, the YouTube, which you may be watching right now. Hopefully subscribed, lest Stomp and Steve get that nervous stomach. Even a bunny coffee, a delicious coffee. Beast might drink that if he had a coffee press. He'd put in a cup and drink it. He'd probably like it. We'd have to confirm with Beast. There's a picture of Old Ken Hamlin throwing a rock through the McDonald's. He claims an intern did it, but it looks pretty much like Old Ken Hamlin. Autographed picture of Seymour Schnott, whose birthday was earlier this week. It certainly was. I don't know if Kevin Sullivan called him up and sang happy birthday, but it's, I guess, a possibility. I wouldn't doubt it if they told me it happened. Speaking of Kevin Sullivan, there's a picture of him. He's not looking at Seymour Schnott singing happy birthday, but if he did, I wouldn't put it past him to try it. There's Paul Freakshine and John Lennon before they had a massive split. More on Paul momentarily. There he is with the rest of his freak show. There he is just with the wonderful Zach. There he is with his niece, Casey Carlisle. You can get pictures like that at CaseyCarlisle.com. That's CaseyCarlisle.com. Home for all your gift-giving needs. Mother's Day rapidly approaching. Those would be great. You can get your mother some of those. She'd be really appreciative, probably. Memorial Day fastly approaching. You can put those out on the graves, probably. Those available. Some of those. I believe this is Old Ken Hamlin's all-time favorite. I think that's Tanya's favorite. She might want to get a mantle and put some belts on the wall at home. You'd have to ask her the next time she's on the show. If she doesn't have a mantle, she could stand like that with belts draped all over her. Or she could just stand like that. Those also available at CaseyCarlisle.com. There she is, just a bit angry. Not a single good knee in that bunch. Not one. All but Troy Miller will be celebrating Mother's Day because they're all mothers, of course. They certainly are. Mothers with bad knees. What a club that would be if someone started a Mothers with Bad Knees club. They could get together once a month and discuss their children and how terrible their own knee is. It's a thing that could happen. Older CAC program. Newer CAC program. There's Chicken Bob. Chicken Bob, very curious to see if Beast Barnett's going to try that Demon and Bunny coffee in any type of coffee maker he may now possess. Well, this week it's a busy week. Sunday on the show we have, speaking of Kevin Sullivan, his brother Dave. His brother Dave will say, "My name is Evad." And then Kevin Sullivan will call into the show and say, "Your name is Dave." And he'll say, "Evad, yes, Evad." And then Kevin will say, "Your name is Dave. Dave Sullivan." Yes, big brother. Evad. And that'll go on for the entire interview. And then Coach will be all mad and say, "I didn't even get to ask my standard question. What's going on here? What's going on?" And I'll say, "I don't know. They argued over his name for an hour." And then Randy Zellers will say, "That ain't nothing." And then he'll just go on with his day. But we should have Randy Zellers joining us to help out for Dave Sullivan. You might even know him as the Equalizer from the Pacific Northwest and briefly WCW before he went as Dave Sullivan. Monday, pretty much free. Tuesday, not much. Wednesday, I think I'll go back and watch some episodes of Barney Miller. Probably Kurt Francis will too. He'll probably watch the one where Barney busted Harris for taking a second job and not being able to fulfill all of his cop duties. They got into a big argument over that. Kurt Francis probably say it's right there, watches that episode and ranks it in his top 8 episodes of Barney Miller of all time. And there were a lot of episodes. On Thursday, pretty much looking free. Next Friday afternoon on the show, we have the aforementioned Paul Freakshine. Paul coming back to the show for the first time since brain surgery. He lost his mind in a literal sense. He's okay now, though. He's coming back to the show. Maybe we'll get a mystery caller asking Paul if he's ever considered high jumping into the ring, like a combination cross-country and track and field and wrestling show. Paul will probably guess who the mystery caller is straight away if that gets asked. But to review from this undisclosed walking trail, where I have this Grover Museum t-shirt, much to the delight probably of Beast Barnett. Sunday we have Dave Sullivan. We're probably going to get a call from Kevin Sullivan saying, "Your name is Dave." He'll say, "Yes, Evad. Baba, your name is Dave. I've told you for 25 years, Dave." I said, "Evad, yes, I got it right." And that'll go on for quite some time to the amusement and horrification of poor Coach Mike Jones will be trying to ask Dave Sullivan his questions. On Monday, pretty good. Tuesday, not much going on. Wednesday, some Barney Miller watching. Maybe QT will watch an episode. Maybe QT will watch the episode where the Native American was trying to die in the park. They brought him in and he died in his cell. That was an episode. Thursday, pretty old. Friday, Paul's back. Turnbuckle Terminal Hall of Famer Paul Freakshine back to the show. First time in a while. But episode 580